Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. I'm here with Nick Phoenix of the Phoenix Press. How you doing, Nick?
Fine and dandy like sour candy.
I think you should get some frequent flyer miles. I think you were. This is your third appearance on the show, right? I think you're.
At least second. I know at least my second, but if you say it's the third, then I believe you.
Oh, I probably. Well, I know you were in a panel or two. So,
Okay.
before we start, I gotta sell my comic, and then the rest of the show is yours. But
Go
just
for it,
check
brother.
this out. Phantasmagoria Girl. I didn't ask her to do this. I don't know if everybody knows who Phantasmagoria Gal is. That's difficult for me to say. But I think she's married to Good Stuff, who does that Nerd Bacon show on Thursdays with Justin Belmont. She just made this. Check this out. Let me see if I can add this. I'm gonna make this big, and check this out. How cool is that?
That is nicely done.
Oh, I gotta stop. Now the commercials are coming up. I didn't hit the button fast enough. Damn it! Yeah, I didn't.
That always happens.
So I guess that this will get a good opening question before we start talking about your campaigns. How is comic book Twitter treating you? Because for me, it's been nothing but pleasantness and guys helping each other out. You know, do you have your haters yet? Do you have people just crushing your dreams yet?
I mean, I've had a few haters, but nothing really too bad. I had a bit of a run-in with with this one person, but then I kind of dealt with that. Nothing really long term.
Yeah, I had two people. One of them I did because I misunderstood something, and I apologized, and I don't think they want to hear the apology, and that really bothers me. You know what I mean? I misunderstood. And then one time, just out of nowhere, somebody just was real crazy. I'm not going to mention names, and I didn't go public with it, but it was like a long couple of days. And I saved the private message. Not that I'm ever going to do the whole reveal, but just like it got
always save the receipts.
Yeah, always save the receipts, because it's just me saying like, dude, you know,
you never know when you're going to have to drop them.
Yeah, and I'll help you when you're ready. You know, I'll help. Come on my channel. I'll promote your book. I don't want your effing help. I was like, all right, all right. So it's funny. But anyway, other than that, comic book Twitter, like again, Phantasmagoria. Just when I saw that, I'm not too manly enough to admit that I got emotional. You know,
I know there's no shame in it. That was a great gesture.
And Tony Dimes is a coworker of mine. He has a couple of rap songs on Spotify. The one that I know of offhand is Sunday Gravy. It's just us Italian goombas from Long Island. We always make the sauce on Sunday. So there you go. So check that out. And now we got Nick Phoenix, who's I think this is his third time on the channel, but I misremember lots of things.
I mean, you're probably right.
And you have two comic books, right?
Yes.
You're juggling two comics. So
I kind of just like leapfrog in between. Like I have a spring book and I have a fall book.
There we go. We got right. Oh, you're launching Friday, right?
Yes, this Friday. I'll be launching on. I have a Friday, like a regular Friday stream called the Friday Night Frenzy. I'll be launching that. I'll be co-streaming with my buddy Comics League, who recently hit 1,000 subs, by the way. So he's popping up.
Cool.
So there'll be a co-stream.
I'll tell you, that's you're going to start getting weirdos now. Once you get monetized is when the weirdos show up and start.
Bring it on. That's what I say.
Yeah. And we got Zach Tan in the chat. How you doing, Zach Tan?
because in my experience, the line between fan and hater is sometimes a bit blurry.
Yeah, like Marcus, all the people, Zach Tan, my regulars, Tony. I'm like, I can't think of the correct word, but everybody's been so great and pleasant and helpful. And I don't. Here's another question, I guess. Before you started doing any of this, did you know how, or did you start making your comic and learn as you went?
I was definitely learn as I went. I had a bit of like a 10-year apprenticeship because like I was attached to a independent comic book company from like 2008 to about 2019ish, and the guy taught me a lot with stuff. And so when I formed my own company in 2019, I kind of like I knew a bunch of stuff, but most importantly, I knew what questions to ask. Like I knew some things, but I also knew enough to know what I didn't know, and know, okay, this is what I don't know, but this is it, and I knew how to get the information. So I was pretty well equipped, in my opinion.
Are you allowed to talk about which company you work for?
The company called Dark Up Designs. A guy opened it called Brian Germain. I still consider him my mentor to this day. He's still kicking.
Okay.
He's still
doing business. Is he still making comics?
Oh yeah, he is.
Good, cool.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Good. I started to regret the question. I thought maybe it was going to be a bad ending, but that's good.
No. I wish him all the best.
Yeah, I didn't even. I got excited. I got I got 1,000 subs on YouTube.
Nice.
And, like big deal. Like now I'll make like $12 a month, and you don't get it until you hit 100. So oh wow, this month I'm getting an extra $100.
I mean, that's $100 you didn't have before, brother.
Well, it goes right into the comic, So so now I'm like, okay, I'm officially making money on comic stuff. I'm gonna make a comic. And I already had scripts written, and I talked to Renzo, and I talked to a few people, and then I was like, oh wait a minute, I got to get this made up. I got to pre-press. Like everybody started. Who's your pre-press guy? I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean pre-press? Like there's a whole step I didn't know anything about. How
I don't even know what pre-press is. If you're talking about preparing it for press, I'm the pre-press guy. Like I have an editor that I work with. You're talking about like preparing the files, prepping it, getting on the format. I've been the pre-press guy. I'm the one that's doing that.
I don't know computers. Before we went live, we were talking about the first time Nick came on my channel. I didn't know how to share screens and make banners and
But you sure did learn, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, after 3 years, I better learn something. I better learn. And Pity Ma, yes, it's good to see you live. Pity Ma is always like 2 seconds before the end of the chat. He's like, "Hey guys, how you doing? Oh, you're closing out." So it's good to see you at the beginning, Pity Ma. So again, I asked you a question, then interrupt you. It's kind of like my feature. Of my channel.
It's fine.
You have two comics Friday. Which one is launching?
With the flow.
Yeah. Which one of your two comics is launching Friday?
Torn Samurai issue 4, Fall of a Friend. That's the one we got coming up.
Okay. All right. Issue 4. Is there a catch-up tier?
Yes, there is. Where you get all 4 issues as well as prints with the covers of each of those. You'll get that pretty sweet.
Cool. Now I also got to ask: is it like collected, or you could get 4 individual floppies?
So the catch-up tier is 4 individual floppies. I do have a collection of the first 2 issues that is actually available on like Amazon, Barnes and Noble.
Oh, cool.
Physical copy you get right now. I teamed up with Critical Blast Publishing for that one.
Have you ever used them for fulfillment?
Oh, all the time. I've been using them. This will probably be my 4th campaign with them. I swear by them.
So you don't do it yourself. You just get everything.
I did it. I think. Let's see here. So for my first campaign, Project Axis, I did it, and not very well, admittedly. I made a lot of mistakes with that one. For Turn Samurai issue 2, I did that one myself. That one I did better. I actually used the Gemini mailers this time. That was okay. But after Turn Samurai issue 2, for like Screecher and then everything onward, I've used Critical Blast, and it's just been great.
Oh, so would you mind telling what you did wrong? Because again, I'm learning every time I talk to somebody, I try to learn something.
basically my manner of packaging. At the time, I thought I was doing good. I basically was using like bubble mailers, and like I was stiffening it with like pieces of cardboard.
Oh,
Which,
I gotcha.
yeah, it was not the right way to go. And then like I fully admit I was in the wrong there. That was
and now
not
you
the
use
right way.
Gemini mailers and no problem. I'm just asking because I'm probably going to fulfill myself unless I have a rush that I know that I can't.
If you are going to ship comics, Gemini mailers are the way to go.
Yeah, I back a lot of stuff and I get Gemini mailers and I've never had a problem. I've had problems when it's not Gemini mailers. So, yeah. So I've learned that. I learned not the hard way. I've actually learned that the easy way. You know.
Yeah, I've learned my lesson. I made my mistakes. I get paid my dues.
So, all right. So, you use Critical Blast because I already told him if I hit his threshold, I'm going to go with Critical Blast because
he's a consummate professional. Like,
oh,
the dude,
yeah.
I cannot speak highly of him enough.
Yeah, he came on just as a featured guest like you, and then I think he was in a panel a few times, and he's given me his phone number, and we've spoken about stuff. So, you know, I think again, comic book Twitter. If you want to get into drama, Nick, I'm sure you can get into it. If you want,
I try to stay out of it, and
me too.
And when I say that as a person who has gotten himself into drama or has put his foot into drama. So I say that being guilty. I am a hypocrite. I am no shame in calling myself a hypocrite. So I'm calling myself out just as much as anyone else. Like,
I'm getting better. I'm getting better. I used to argue politics on Twitter, and I found myself typing out 3 tweets today and unsending them because I got
smart.
You know,
when it comes to Twitter, I try to be positive. I go onto Twitter. I go there to have fun, share stupid memes, have fun with people, joke around, and honestly, you attract what you put out. And so I try to put out positive energy, try to have a joke around. And I seem to have attracted an audience of like-minded people who just want to joke around, have fun. And it's made my Twitter experience, honestly, rather enjoyable.
Good. Marcus asked, I hope you saved some of those Gemini mailers. It's funny because my wife is big into recycling. And in the garage, we break down all the cardboard boxes. I have a stack of Gemini mailers.
Oh, dear God. Like, outside this door right now, I have like a stack of boxes like this high.
Well, you must have ordered bundles for your campaign. I'm just saving them now because you know what? So if I have 25 Gemini mail, how much are they a piece? $1? That saves me $25.
It really depends. I think it's like $30 or $40 for like 25. It's just one of those things like the more you order, the cheaper it gets.
Yeah, I could reuse them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see the stickers that it says like Cord Wrath with my sticker on top of it or something like that. Oh man, you know what's funny? Do you have like friends or coworkers or people in your area that order the comics? Because my coworkers do not understand how crowdfunding and going to websites.
I have a few people who like buy them off me when I get them in. Like a person who lives in my duplex grabs an issue. Then there's a guy who works at a convenience store that I frequent. He always grabs a copy.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Because they when I was explaining to him, you got to go to this website, you got to go here, and you got the eyes just glazed over. They're like, can't I just buy a freaking comic book? So
yeah, that's why I always print off like way more because I sell at conventions, and it's just, people just
and I have a QR code on the back. You know what I mean? So I could hand that to the buddies at work, and they scan it. A few guys though, they're like, I'm not putting my credit card. I'm not putting my. So a couple of guys today handed me $60. So I got $60, and I'm like putting it aside because that's comic book money. You know what I mean? And like, I was like, all right, I gotta. But I'm like, what if we get transferred? They're like, you'll find me. You'll find me.
Also, just real quick. Hey, Glenn. It's nice to see you. Yeah, I'm in the I'm in the next comic book cycle again. Turns out number 4 is coming out soon. So, yeah, he's a guy we follow each other on Twitter. He's cool.
Start filling up the comic reels. I don't know what you mean, Zach Tan.
If they mean like Instagram reels or like YouTube shorts, I'm bad at those. I am so bad at those.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have Instagram or Twitter if it wasn't for comics. Although I don't use Instagram at all. What about Blue Sky? Do you use that at all?
I technically have a Blue Sky account. I think someone hooked me up with an invite like a few months before. Oh, Shadowpunk, nice.
Shadowpunk.
Hey, buddy.
The Shadowpunk. Send us your link. We'll put your link to your comics in the
Yeah,
description.
he's legit. Yeah, this guy's legit. Shadowpunk is legit. So.
Yeah, Shadowpunk is doing a better job promoting my comic than I am.
dude, have you seen like some of the stuff this guy does? Like Shadowpunk, this guy's like really smart.
Yeah, he does a 3D. He's sculpting for resin minis.
Yeah, I've seen his stuff. It's really good.
Yeah, if ever, I hope someday, because he puts like 50 hours of work into it.
Yeah. I've asked him about something doing my stuff, and
he deserves the price.
Like he quoted me a fair price. Like it's not like he was trying to like
about the price. I just
like once he explained to me the labor, it was a fair price, but it's like too rich for my blood, but it's a fair price.
Yeah, I got to hit a couple of more Ks on my campaign before I would love.
But the stuff he does is beautiful. So
yeah, send it to Marcus Shadowpunk. We'll throw your links in there. So you have what?
Shadowpunk.
Yeah.
I would love for you to do that. Let me know. I can send you some files.
Creature. So I was gonna say you have 21,000 samurai, 2,100.
2,100 samurai. That's
2,100. Jeez. And then
you're not the first person. You're not the first person. Trust me.
Screecher is how I discovered you. Yeah, I would love a resume of the Patriarch. Patriarch being my character for those of you.
Yeah, Screecher has kind of become my more popular character. But like I started to turn samurai first, so I kind of want to see at least the first volume finished. Plus, I kind of believe in Turn Samurai. Like I believe it's like a good book, and plus like the way it's been going, like the way the art direction has been going with I think I've hit upon kind of a good vein of like the black, white, and the red there. But yeah, Screecher is the more popular book by far.
Yeah, I saw Screecher. This, I'm a superhero guy, so I think when I started doing all this stuff, you were I think you were campaigning for Screecher #2, and it just so Screecher 1, 2, and 3 are out, right?
Screecher 1 and 2 are out. Screecher 3 is coming out this fall.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I thought So I got 1 and 2, and I have a 2,100 Samurais 1, 2, and 3, and obviously not yet 4 because it's not out yet. Yeah, I mean, one day when you can afford it.
Cyberpunk, when I can afford it, I am definitely hitting you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I just want to address Pity Boss. Her husband saw the back cover of Heroic Tales and he loved it. He's not a comic fan, but he loved the detail and the colors. Yes, I'll get that image and I'll show you what you're talking about. But that image came to me. I was coming home commuting, and for those of you who don't know the Patriarch, he's a father, he's a husband, he's a superhero, and I just feel that dads are getting a short shaft in modern day culture.
So when the villains are fighting him, are they technically fighting the patriarchy?
Yeah, that was it. Started off as a goof. I was gonna have a fight, but
I'm sorry. Obvious joke is obvious.
I know the obvious joke is obvious, and I didn't want to go that route. I actually started to like the character, and you'll see it's kind of an homage to all fathers. I'm not a father.
I love the design. I love how you gave him like the old the temples and whatnot. It's really nice. He's
42 years old when the comic launches. He's been a superhero for 20 years, and then because is anybody interested in the origin of a superhero? You know what I mean? I'm crowdfunding, so I'm taking a risk. At that point, I didn't know if I'd be able to do a second issue, so I didn't want to do his origin of a character that
you might as well shoot for the moon.
Yeah, so I'm just telling a story of him, and then issue number 3, I'm gonna have his origin. Issue number 2 has well, it doesn't matter. This is your hour.
I mean, Batman didn't premiere with an origin. He didn't get an origin until like 2 years later. So
right, I'm trying to Doctor Strange. The first Fantastic Four, if I remember correctly, was it the no. I was gonna say it was the Mole Man and their origin. I forget if the Mole Man was, but you know what I'm saying. Learn to love the character. But anyway, thank you for that Pity Boss. I fell in love with the character. He went from like this'll piss off the left, to like I really like this character, and now I want to write stories about him for the rest of my life. Marcus works cheap. Marcus, you could do 3D modeling. No. Marcus could just do modeling. Nick, if you want a guy to come to your house to stand around in his underwear, Marcus is your man. How is that? I got Nick to stop talking for once. How's that?
Pass.
origins are hard to execute, especially when you don't know the character. And like they could do a Spider-Man origin story because everybody in America knows Spider-Man. But the problem is every 3 years they do Spider-Man's origin, so who cares?
Yeah, it's like that. I saw this one meme where it's like Uncle Ben saying, "Please stop rebooting Spider-Man. I'm tired of getting shot."
Yes. So, Screecher #1 is her origin, though.
Yeah.
Screecher tell us a little bit about Screecher. Tell us a little bit about 2100 Samurais. I keep interrupting you and talking about my stuff.
It's all good. I'm enjoying my time here. So Screecher, basically the log line that I always kind of the picture that I give people is Screecher is a tale of a young woman named Amy Fletcher. She comes back to her hometown of Ann Arbor, Michigan after 7 years away. Her father, had been jailed for a crime he did not commit. And now, with no other choice, she must become the winged avenger Screecher and try and clear his name.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. There was a specific reason, but I saw one of the images, and I just liked the design of the character. I'm big on names, and like somebody on Twitter, I put up a picture of how I drew the Patriarch originally to send it to Renzo, and then what Renzo did. Mm-hmm. And some guy was like, "You should have let your artist design your character." I'm like, "But I designed a good character, like what do you?" And then he was showing me his designs, and it was just too many lines, like an image.
They're doing Marvel characters.
Well, they were doing
MCU characters,
but it looked like it looked like the movies. Like, did you see the new Superman image of him putting on his boots slowly while the orb is destroying everything in Metropolis?
Yeah, I did like a whole almost 20-minute video about how much I hated it, and it's blown up on my YouTube. Like, it's actually getting really good views. So,
okay, I'm gonna watch that because I looked at that and I'm just like, why is Superman taking his time with his boots while the Destructo eyeball is wrecking?
Oh, and I thought it looked kind of like AI art a little bit.
Yeah. And I didn't like the lines on Superman. Superman's costume was supposed to be simple, sleek, and elegant. And that's what I like. But that's what I was saying about Screecher. You had a pretty good, elegant design for the character. The cape, and the name Screecher invoked Owl. And I saw Owl, and I was like, okay, I understand street level vigilante. She's not flying to Jupiter. She's not shooting laser beams. I
haven't been shy with the influences. I kind of mixed together Batgirl, Moon Knight, a little bit of spoiler, some Raven, kind of mixed all my favorite things together. But Screecher, I wanted a simple name. I will say, with Screecher, I was kind of going off of Preacher, and it's Owl, Screech Owl, Screecher. It's just kind of like a single name. It's punchy, it's kind of evocative, and I will say, the character design is probably the best part. It's one of the best parts of this. Everyone loves the character design. It's a great character design. It's got good use of colors. It is actually a unique design. It's definitely inspired by, but I really do feel it does stand out as wholly unique.
Nobody could, this is comic books. Marvel has characters are inspired by DC characters and vice versa. You know what I mean? So I don't feel that's a fair criticism when my character, the Patriarch, there's Superman in him, to the point where the silhouette of him and Superman were exactly the same. So I changed the gloves. He now has more swashbuckler because I became aware of that. So somebody mentioned that, but it's the distinctions that make it cool. When you read the you're going to find out he has vastly different powers than Superman. He's not super. And in issue number 3, I have a Batman inspired character that I just changed drastically today because I'm like, you know what? When 3 or 4 people that I respect are telling me he's too much like Batman, I gotta listen.
Yeah, that's kind of how I operate too. One person saying something is one thing, but when you have a bunch of people, then they're all saying that you respect,
right?
And they're all saying the same or similar thing, then they kind of have a point. You should take it a little more seriously.
Because I sent scripts to people that I respect. But one of them was not a comic book person in the slightest. And her criticisms were really eloquent, really thoughtful, but just showed me she didn't understand comic books. You know what I mean? So when people say, are you open to criticism? I'm like, yes. Yes, but
Yeah, my thing is, I'm all for criticism, but I want constructive criticism. The problem I have, and this is kind of like a comment on critique in general when it comes to the internet, is a lot of critique. The worst thing to happen is critiques for entertainment's sake. And so what happens with that is you get like they more focus more on the zingers. They focus more on like, oh, I want to do a witty one-liner. I think Red Letter Media has done more to damage literary discourse than lots of other things. I mean, there's other things like Nostalgia Critic and whatnot, but yeah.
Oh, I was trying to decipher this pity ma pit bulls. Duh. I was like, I don't understand what you're saying, pity ma, but I get it now. I'm a dummy. She rescues pit bulls. My brother rescued a pit bull. It turned out to be the sweetest, freaking hugest dog possible. My niece and nephew were tugging on its ears. He was. You want to see those designs? Well, Patriarch, you can see that design. We are working on characters for issue number 2. You'll see the Batman character as soon as possible, which leads me to my next question. Logically, in this flow, how you're doing pretty good. You're up to like 5 comics, right?
Let's see here. Project Access. Well, I'm counting them down. Let's guess. So I got Project X number 1. 3 issues of Project X number 1. 3 issues of Screecher. So 5. So yeah, this is my 6th comic.
Oh, and how long has it taken you to do 6 comics?
Maybe about 4 years or so. I put up Project Access in 2020. To be fair, that was like a revamp version. The original version of Project Access came out in like 2018 under Dark Up Designs. It failed. I'm going to just be blunt. And then under my own thing, I did it a lot better. And then I'd probably say I really kind of hit my stride in 2022 when I put out Turn Samurai issue 2 and then Screecher number 1. That worked out really well, and I've kind of been going strong ever since.
Oh, good. As you got pretty good output. Like, I would ideally like to do. I know this, shoot for the moon, right? We're comic book people, we're dreamers. Ideally, I'd like to do 3 comics a year, but I think
I'm kind of pushing things a little bit this year because I'm doing my 2 comics, but I'm also putting out a novel. Like,
oh wow,
yeah. So I wrote a novel during the pandemic. And it's kind of been sitting on my hard drive because I've been needing an editor. They realized, oh wait, I can crowdfund. So I found an editor. Shout out to John Douglas, the Black Crown author. He recommended a really good editor.
Oh yeah, I follow him on Twitter. I see him.
And I got a good cover art going, so that's going to be in August.
What's the name of the novel?
Lost Kingdom.
Okay.
Also, I sent you a character design for Screecher on Twitter. So, like, if you wanted to like display that, because like someone was asking about like capes or no capes, just kind of
okay. Oh, do you want me to show this picture?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, keep talking while I old man my way around.
So yeah, so Lost Kingdom is like a sci-fi fantasy novel. If you're familiar with like the hero's journey formula, basically think of like the hero's journey, but from the mentor's point of view, or kind of like a more layman's terms. I think Star Wars, but from Obi-Wan's perspective, kind of thing.
There we go. So somebody was asking cape or no cape. The answer is yes.
Yes. That was like a very early character design for Screecher. Her design is pretty much the same, but if I we've kind of made a few tweaks here and there, but that's pretty much Screecher.
Yeah, and you're not the artist, so you
I am not.
Yeah, you have 2 different art teams for both of your comics.
Pretty much the same art team, just like so I got a guy named Brian Kuroga who works who does like the pencil and inks for both books. And then Brian also does like the shading and the colors for Samurai. And then for Screecher, I have a colorist called Ardent Black.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Screecher was a great book. Yeah. Well, it is a great book. It's still coming out.
Yeah. Screecher number 3 is coming out this October. I do have a rough draft of the script done. I do need to do some rewrites on it. And then have it edited, but I'm hoping to start production on it in June.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm a sucker for the street level vigilante hero.
Me too, honestly. Me too.
Yeah. So let's bring up this. What do we got here? You're in control of this.
All right. So this is a preview of the Indiegogo campaign for Turn Samurai number 4. This is not final. I'm still kind of putting some finishing touches on it, but pretty much everything is here. So this will be launching Friday, like I said, on my live stream. That starts at nope, not a self-insert character.
Now, yeah, he's goofing with you. You don't imagine yourself a 16-year-old girl?
Well, actually, Screecher's 19, but, that's beside the point. So we're going.
I know the patriarch is not my self-insert. If anything, it's more my dad. My dad had 7 kids, and he was a superhero. You'll see my self-insert in issue 3, the fat bubbling detective.
All right, Bullock. So we're going for $1,500. And
how you doing? Hail.
I also shout out to my cover artist, Neff Nefarious Watcher. He did this cover. He did an amazing job. So John, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you know what I'm paying tribute to here?
That to me is a Crisis on Infinite Earths with Supergirl, right?
You are correct, sir.
Okay.
That is exactly what I'm paying tribute to.
Okay, I actually panicked because I thought he's going to tell me that's too obvious. Which is also an homage to the Michelangelo's the Pieta. I always say that wrong.
I think it's like a Dark Phoenix cover is where we're looking.
Yeah, it was the Pieta with Mother Mary holding the body of Jesus, and then George Perez did it, and George a lot of comic books did it.
And now I'm doing it. So
yeah. Well, it's a try again. People who like, oh, you ripping stuff. You don't know comic books when you say stuff like that.
Yeah.
How many Superman ripoffs does Marvel have? Hyperion, the Blue Marvel,
Sentry,
the Sentry,
Gladiator.
Yet they're all different.
Yeah. And then here is
red, white, and black.
This is literally the first page, and it's all completed. Just look how strong I started. So the thing about Brian is he improves with each issue, and with this one he was experimenting with more like brushstrokes and kind of things. And oh my god, this each issue is like his best issue yet. It's insane.
Herbie did the Pieta in a Thor cover. Which issue? Now you got us listed all the homages. Yeah.
So this is the villain of it, Marrow. He is he's basically he's a Street Fighter character. I'm going to be honest. He's basically kind of a mixture of like Akuma, Ryu, like a lot of those people. So yeah, he's cybernetic martial artist. Like, also just look how good this panel is. Just
yeah. Now, do you write full script, or do you do the Marvel method?
I kind of have like my own kind of like format. What I do is I do like a page panel, and I do like 1 or 2 sentences for the panel. Like, here's what's happening. I'll maybe focus on like facial expressions and like actions, and then I'll leave the rest of the artist, and then I'll have the dialogue.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going over the dialogue for my script now. Because the artist Renzo, he changed a few panels around because he's an artist. You know what I mean? He realized it needed to flow better. So I'm doing that step right now, and then lettering, and then we're done, guys. Then we're done.
Yeah.
I just got to know how many to print, and I hope that number's high. I like the black, white, and red. Shadowpunk, for his comic, he has a limited color palette too, and it works really well. Like, if you could see his icon over here, that's very similar to the color palette.
So I did this as like a bonus for like the collector's edition of issue 3, and it worked out really well. Like this pops really well. So I decided for this issue to make it standard.
Okay.
Because it is very eye-catching, like you said, and it just worked. It looks so good. I just can't help myself. Comics Wellspring will be doing the printing. They are my go-to. And then as far as the tiers, so I got the digital. If you just want issue 4, digitally it's $5. Then if you want all 4 issues digitally, it's $15. By the way, all shipping is free. So all these numbers are with shipping included. I just wanted to kind of put that out there. So physical comic tier, you get the digital comics and the comic for 20. And then this is the one that a lot of people are doing, the catch-up tier, where you'll be getting issues 1 through 4, the floppies, as well as prints of the cover, and they'll like be the size of the comic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bag and board them, and on the back of the bag and board will be a print of the cover. So
cool.
Yeah, it'll be pretty sweet. And then for the collector's edition, what I plan on doing is I usually have like a limited 225. Like I have like limited 25 hollow foil cover. You get your name in the comic, not just a collector's edition, but like all of them. And then also, I'm going to be doing like a special edition of the trade. Which, by the way, I'm going to go grab something real quick. Can you kind of talk for a second? I got to turn my cam off.
Sure. I'm in a Comics Wellspring. If I remember correctly, Tonic Bowl, who does Saving the World, and he also has another campaign called On Call Heroes. I'm pretty sure that he uses Comics Wellspring, and he loves them too. So I'm at the point, and he recommended them to Brian Bao, who did Wolf and Batsy. So I am at the point now where I need to talk to the printers and get samples and things like that. Brian Bao, if I may be telling tales out of school, he's about to start shipping Wolf and Batsy comics. So I was kind of waiting until I got them, because that's from Comics Wellspring, and see if that's what I want to do, and then ask him about his numbers. Brian Bao has been instrumentally helpful in my campaign. Can't say his praises enough. So go ahead, Nick. How's that? How's that for a filibuster?
Yes, you did a great job. Can you full screen me, please?
I'm sorry?
Can you full screen me?
Oh, full screen. Are we ready for everybody? Hold on to your wives.
All right. So this is the trade paperback. It collects issues 1 and 2 of Turned Samurai, and it gets you some bonus content. This is actually currently available on like Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and whatnot. We'll be doing a special edition for this. So right now, this is about like 60-ish pages. We're going to include more special content, and it's going to be at least a year.
Hold it up. Let's see that cover. You keep shaking it. Yeah, that is an awesome cover.
Oh yeah, this was a fan art, because I went on Drawn and Quartered, and somebody did this art, and I loved it so much. I asked them if I could use it for myself, and they gave me permission to use it. I've since actually used it for like a really great T-shirt design. That's available on my Redbubble, and oh my god, it looks so good.
Yeah. Let's give the guy. Do you know the artist's name? Do you remember offhand?
Not off the top of my head. I could probably look it up, but that might take a second.
Come, Marcus, I got to check this out later. 78 different Pieta comic covers. That is funny. That is cool. Yep.
So yeah, collector edition. You know,
let me add it back to the stage.
Yep. And so like that's the collector edition, 110, free shipping. We're trying to raise 1,500. We don't really have any stretch goals in mind right now. I'm just trying to get funded. If you get me there early, I will think of some. You know,
yeah.
Like if you guys are enthusiastic, and you get me like funded like a week or two. Like, all right, fine. You want stretch goals? I'll give you stretch goals. You know.
I want to ask you a couple. Scroll back up. You got a digital tier,
yes.
as a perk for $5. How in your estimation is digital? Does digital sell well?
It sells a fair amount, I would say. So off the top of my head, and this is by no way definitive, I would guesstimate that digital sales account for like maybe 10-20% of my
okay. That's the same as me. And I noticed that all the people who digital were overseas, which totally makes sense.
Yeah. Digital is it's kind of for a few things. It's for the people who want to support me but don't want to spend too much money. So that's why you have that lower tier. But it's also for the overseas people, to where like shipping overseas is really expensive.
Yeah.
Okay. And so
do you ship overseas?
I want to at this campaign. I need to get in touch with Critical Blast and figure out the pricing model for that. I'm hoping to have it, because like even if it's expensive, I should like let's say this person like for example, there's a guy in the Netherlands who's a fan of my stuff, and to ship out one comic to him one floppy was like $30 in shipping.
Yeah, I know. I
But here's
shipped
the
a
thing.
comic. I shipped a couple comics to Renzo, my artist who lives in Mexico, because I was like, you got to check this out. And it was $40, and it took like 2 months.
Yeah, here's the thing. If someone wants to pay the shipping, they should be allowed.
Right.
That's
Right.
my thing. Like,
Yeah.
shipping is expensive. You know, so that's why the digital tier is there for like international people. But if someone wants to pay the money, that's their right, you know.
I forget who it was, it's either Dave Brink who does Genuine Comics, or it's Hades who does that. I forget the name of the studios, but they are talking about like send them the files and they'll print it in Europe. So it could be printed and then shipped to Europe, and then over here we could ship in America, and vice versa. I think the ingenuity of us is starting to form a system, and cottage industries are growing.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised if stuff like that starts happening in Australia. Like, it's like, we got a lot of people in Australia too.
Oh yeah,
like, but
about
like
Australia.
Yeah,
it'll be the moon.
Yeah, like that's insane too. But look, we do have a lot of compatriots in
Yeah, that's talk to Michael Bancroft. Maybe
that's what I was thinking of. Like, it's like tip of my tongue. I couldn't remember him, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Michael Bancroft. He's just a wonderful guy.
That dude's a saint. He's a saint.
Yeah, he just likes comics, and he likes the culture of comics. No drama, no fighting, just a good guy.
I have so much respect for Bancroft.
Yeah, I can't wait to get. I missed out on issue 1, so I pledged to catch up to you. I can't wait to get, because it looks phenomenal. The Lucent is Michael Bancroft's comic. Shadowpunk, if I remember correctly, you're in Europe, right? Are you in Ireland? Am I mistaken?
I think he lives in the States.
Okay, then I'm completely.
If it's all right with you, can I play the trailer for this book?
Oh, sure. Let me bring it back up.
Yep. Sorry, I'm just trying. I'm trying not to be like too forceful or whatnot,
No.
So before I play this trailer, I just wanted to give a shout out to the editor, Luxburg. He's the one who put together this trailer.
Oh, you just roboted out. Did we lose you?
All right, I'm here. Can you see me? Am I there? Am I still here? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't know if it was you or me, but it kind of roboted out. So we're back now. Let's. Good.
All right. Yeah. So before I begin, shout out to Luxburg. He's the one who edited this video, and I just wanted to give him all the credit. So if you like the video, it's his doing. I just wanted to make sure he gets his just due. So here we go.
It's time.
Imagine a corporation with a stranglehold on the city. Imagine a cretin insane enough to work for them. Imagine a warrior on the verge of insanity. From past to present, from blood to blade, from man to samurai. This summer, the Phoenix Press presents the evil that has a new enemy, the justice that will be bittersweet, and the world that will never be the same.
Yeah. So like I said, shout out to Luxburg who did that trailer. He did like an amazing job. And if you want a trailer for your campaign, please hit him up. He would be more than happy to work with you.
If you have his links, put his links in the private chat, and I'll put him in the public chat.
I can let me just grab his Twitter.
Yeah, always got to help. It's all about helping everybody else out, And
yeah,
for comments. Marcus said that was cool. I didn't want to put any comments up while your trailer was going.
Yeah,
Jack 10 said it was neat. It was neat. I love that neat. It's just a good word. Neat.
All right, there's his Twitter, and if you like it, like what you see, you want some of that action of your own, please hit him up and hire him. He's great.
Okay, we'll put it in the comments. There you go. Lugsberg.
Yeah, he's a great. I collaborate with him a lot. Like he co-commentates on my live streams a lot. He's a great dude. He's very enthusiastic.
Yeah, Shadowpunk. And if Shadowpunk.
Oh, that's high praise coming from
I was
Shadowpunk.
just about to say that.
Shadowpunk, I've seen your trailers, and if you're saying that's a cool trailer, that is very high praise indeed coming from you. So thank you.
Yep. Again, my friends find out that I'm going live, so they call me just to bother me.
Sounds like some true friends.
The second phone call.
Oh my god!
Yeah, they must. My brother, it was a big wig in the union, and he'd have to give speeches, and everybody would call him when he was giving speeches. So he learned he got to turn his phone off as he was.
Yeah. And then you turn your phone on after the speech. It's like. Bzz, 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 bzz.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. I thought it was just a funny joke. Excuse me. So, this is a continuing story. Tell us a little bit about the story. I asked you earlier. You started talking, then I distracted you with other nonsense.
All right. So there's 5 issues in Volume 1, and within that Volume 1, there's 2 storylines. The first 2 issues, which are collected here, are called Big Trouble in Neo Detroit, and it's basically kind of like a 2-part television pilot kind of thing. Introduces the world, kind of sets the status quo. And so right now we're in like kind of the middle portion of a 3-part story called The Vow. We had part 1, which was A Bridge Too Far. That was issue 3. And right now we're in like the Empire Strikes Back portion.
Just don't get to the sequel stage.
No. It's really sad that George Lucas that they only really made 6 Star Wars movies. It's really sad.
I'll do you better. They only made 3, and that.
I don't know. I heard George Lucas maybe he authorized some fan fiction in the 90s and 2000s. I don't know.
You got some TNT vibes. That's it.
Yeah.
Are you a Mutant Ninja Turtle fan?
Casually, yes. I'm an admirer of the Turtles. I was big into it when I was a kid. I'm not like big into it, but I do enjoy some Turtles action.
Yeah, because people were shocked to find out that I avoided anything with the Turtles up until 4 months ago. I read my first Turtles comic. I read Tonic Ball. I don't know if you know Tonic Ball, but he was like,
oh, that dude is great. He's been a great help to me.
He's such a good. It's funny because he plays this stoner, and then when you talk to him in private, he's like a philosopher. He's just
here's really cool though. So Jim Lawson was actually doing a convention near me, so I bought some comics from Tonic. It's like, hey, and he sent me a bunch of extra ones with Jim Lawson covers on it. So I have a copy of Saving the World with a Jim Lawson cover signed by Jim Lawson.
Yeah,
that is so cool, isn't it?
Yeah, and one of his favorite artists, he got to work with him. How cool is that? But let
me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, John. So you kind of brought up an interesting point of working with our favorite artists. And feel free to ask me this question: if you could work with any if you could have someone draw the patriarch, either cover or interiors, or even just a one-off, who would it be?
Well, it's funny that you asked that because I went and asked some of my favorite artists to do variant covers. So First off, right now working, I only want to work with Renzo Rodriguez. If Renzo doesn't want to work with me, the patriarch is done. Because he right now he's the perfect superhero comic book artist. But of course, there's guys like John Byrne who would never work with me. So John, and I don't even think Renzo would get mad. Matter of fact, if Renzo was like, John Byrne's doing a cover, he would be so excited. So he's living. Walt Simonson, but Pat Broderick did a variant cover for me, and he's the first comic book artist that I fell in love with that back in like 1974 when you were not even
I was hanging out my daddy's ball sack.
Yeah, I didn't want to be that crude, but yes, he was. So I loved him, and then I don't know if you're familiar with the comic called I guess I'm revealing information. No, I already revealed this, but I didn't show the image. Michael T. Gilbert is doing the Kickstarter cover. It's already done, colored, and it's hanging in my comic book room.
Nice.
He gave me the cover. Michael T. Gilbert does Mr. Monster. I love that comic.
Mhm.
And then Mike Gustovich is doing the Indiegogo cover. So 3 different covers by 3 legends, and it's a theme of old-fashioned. I hate the word old-fashioned because but like classic Bronze Age comic book artists that so that I'm just so excited about that.
For me, one of the ones that I definitely want to get is he was a Nightwing artist called Scott McDaniel.
Oh,
He worked so I like Nightwing was like one of my favorite comics growing up.
I could tell by reading Screecher, yeah.
And Scott McDaniel's art was so great, and it would be a dream, like with Jim Lawson, we're having Scott McDaniel do a cover for me would be so amazing.
Yes, Scott McDaniels is a great comic book artist. Yeah, you know what? Because I had Chuck Dixon on my channel.
Chuck is so great. Chuck is amazing. I love that dude.
I got some Nightwing on it, but if I know I'll just knock over the stack of comics. But Shadowpunk Gilbert Elric, enough said. Yeah, he. For those of you who don't know what Shadowpunk is talking about, Michael T. Gilbert was the inker for P. Craig Russell for Pacific Comics and Eclipse Comics. Elric of Melnibone. I'm a D&D fan from way back, and there was a book that had all of the Elric of Melnibone mythology, and I'm like, I got to read this stuff. And it turns out it was created by Michael Moorcock, so I read all those books, and then Roy Thomas. That'll be a rabbit hole. I've been wanting to get a replica prop sword of his sword Stormbringer for my whole life. And about 15 years ago, some guy made one, and he was selling perfect. Everything, it was $3,500.
Worth the money though.
And I've never seen it since.
Oh.
But at the time, I was an apprentice electrician. I couldn't afford dinner, much less a $3,500 sword.
I will say there are 2 artists that I would literally sell a kidney to get their art, but sadly, both these artists have passed away.
Oh, who?
And when I say them, you'll understand. First one is George Perez.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say George Perez, but he's not with us
because the new Teen Titans is the comic that got me into comics.
What a good comic. What a great I recommend that to anybody getting into comics.
I love the Wolfman Perez run is so good. I am a new Teen Titans fanatic. The other one is Michael Turner. I'm sorry. No one drew women better than Michael Turner. The way he drew women. Oh my god! Obviously it was exaggerated proportions or whatnot, but they look so good.
Yeah.
I love that Top Cow style, which is why I probably will hire Mark Silvestri at some point, because Mark Silvestri is kind of the closest you can get to the Top Cow style.
How much does he charge?
Oh my god. I remember I looked him up before he got hired to do Marvel, and he was I think either $25,000 or $6,000. But it's got to be a lot more now he's working for Marvel or DC again.
Yeah. I went. Oh, I'm sorry, that snuck up.
By the way, Scott McDaniel, he's actually surprisingly affordable. I'm not going to say his price, but he is very affordable considering his talent.
There's a bunch of guys that I asked, and they were really nice about it, but I just couldn't justify the expense for my first comic. So I'm thinking, if I get more successful as I go on or whatever, but like Mark Allred, oh my god, can you imagine Mark Allred with his wife Laura doing those? And he was actually really cool about it. He actually gave me a discounted rate because we got
one artist in our community that I really want to work with, but he's kind of expensive, but he's worth the price. Is Joe M. Sontag. That artist is amazing, and he's a really nice dude.
Joe he's the voice of the Patriarch. I was making a trailer, and I was having him do line, and then I just didn't do the trailer. There comes a point when your comic's too expensive. We'll just do it.
But yeah, Joe is an amazing artist, and
Yeah.
I probably will work with him someday. I just need to get a little bit more successful, so I can he's expensive, but he's worth every penny.
Yeah. Well, I talked to EVS, and he gave me his quote, which was reasonable for one of the top talents, and it was the same quote that he said to somebody else. So he's not playing any shenanigans. He's consistent.
Yeah.
And I was this close to doing it. But I chickened out. Is basically it. I chickened out.
One day.
One day. But yeah, I would love Walt Simonson. Walt Simonson said on Twitter a couple months ago he's available for work, and Marvel said,
if I could hire Greg, I'd love to hire Greg Capullo.
Oh yeah, how much?
He's
is that?
expensive. Greg, because Greg is still a current artist, so
how much is that guy? He's got to be like $5,000 a page, and worth it.
Yeah, worth it. Like a Greg Capullo cover, that's gonna get.
You're supposed to make money in your books, not below. Yeah, I know.
See, that's why I don't do a lot of variant covers.
Shadowpunk. That's why I stopped myself. Yes.
Yeah, that's why I actually don't often do variant covers, because it is such a money pit, and it's cool. Have a cover by an artist you like. It's and here's the thing: having a cover by an artist does sell, but you got to kind of do will it sell enough?
Well, my biggest sale is the 2 cover tier, the Renzo cover and then the Pat Broderick cover. That by far is my biggest. So, so it does sell, and believe me, I did feel a little slimy doing it, because I'm like, am I exploiting the obsessive compulsiveness of comic book fans?
Dude, it's just how the game is played. Don't play.
A couple of guys told me that they love the idea. When I told them that there's 2 more variant covers, they were like, "Oh wow, that's great!" So
yeah, because here's the thing: people would have asked you for that tier anyway. Okay,
well, that's pretty much it. I was not that I was taught, because I was thinking of it anyway, because it's smart business. But guys were like, "Oh, you're doing it right." And when I was thinking about not doing it, they're like, "No, you're crazy." People like, because I buy the A cover of any comic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The only time I bought B covers, it's if it's like Josh Howard is an artist that I just absolutely love, and he's doing a comic called Candy Vigilante, and he does the C cover. That's the only cover
variant covers to me are when you have your fun. Like let's say you want to do a movie poster tribute cover, or I know, have you seen cosplay covers where they get a cosplayer and they have a photo of it? I've seen those. Those are kinda cool.
Yeah, I've seen that before. Nobody wanted to see me in my patriarch costume though, so
I mean, if you put Joan Sontag in that patriarch costume, because he's kind of a good-looking guy, I think he'd look good as a patriarch.
Yeah, well, again, he's the voice of the patriarch. That what he was on my channel, and we talked for an hour, and that's all I was thinking. I was like, so right when we were done, I was like, would you? I gave him a couple of lines, and he was going to use his good mic and send it.
Yeah,
I just couldn't justify another expense of a trailer.
Yeah, it's really funny because there is a voice actress. Her name's Lost Lenore. I consider her to be the voice of Screecher. She did the Screecher 1 trailer, she did the Screecher 2 trailer, and she's going to do the Screecher 3 trailer.
So she legitimately is the voice of the Screecher. Yeah,
I have declared it so.
Yeah, well, you're the guy. You get to make that rule.
She does.
Who would play her in a movie?
I've actually put thought into this, and if I were to cast a Screecher movie right now, I'm dead set on McKenna Grace.
McKenna Grace.
Ghostbusters.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's a good choice. Okay.
If you see her in Young Sheldon, because she's got the blonde hair, he is a dead ringer for Avery. She's got that kind of thing.
Somebody asked me for a black and white edition of Heroic Tales. Without the color. That just blew my mind away, because I'm like,
well, line art editions are kind of a popular thing. I actually did release a line art version of Screecher 2.
Did it sell?
I think it was just. I think it was more just a bonus thing, a digital line art edition. Never actually made any print copies of it, but I made a digital version of it. That was a bonus thing.
So this is my first campaign, and I'm willing to make a buck if people want to. You know, if
Yeah,
they-
I would start thinking about stretch goals if I were you, like different additions and different things you can add, because oftentimes the stretch goals are really where you make your money.
what was this FX, Marcus? What was the name of that 6-issue series? Because I'm curious, and you know, John Byrne. If you go to John Byrne's website, it says I don't do interviews. I don't think, and I still emailed him. I figured why not? You know, what is he gonna do? Yell? Love Sylvester. The Deadly Duo is beautiful. I purchased it.
Sometimes you just gotta take your shot.
Yeah. My whole channel is asking people like, why? Well, Jim Shooter came on my channel.
See,
You know,
like, here's the thing. Like, I've had some big people. Like, I've had Chuck Dixon. You know, I've had some big people, and then people ask me like, Nick, how do you get these big people? Because I do kind of sometimes punch way above my weight in terms of like, you know, like the people I can pull sometimes are way more than what you think given my size.
Well, Chuck
creator.
Dixon really approachable and a really friendly guy.
Oh, he's a great guy. Like,
Yeah.
I cannot say like Chuck Dixon is like the one example. You know how they say never meet your heroes?
oh, you
Chuck
want
Dixon is the one example where it was actually like I'm more of a fan of Chuck Dixon because I've been a fan of Chuck Dixon since like the 90s. Like I always loved his Nightwing stuff. I was a fan of it in like 90s, 2000s. So like be able to have I pinch myself sometimes. Like a writer that I idolized as a kid
and he's
now
a cool
is just
guy.
a message away.
Yeah, and he's a cool guy, you know. And he does every Wednesday. He does Ask Chuck Dixon, and I've been sending him questions for a while. And it's funny because he goes, my buddy John from John's Long Box. So I've been saying that I'm Chuck Dixon's buddy now. That's official. It's on YouTube.
Hey!
So it's official.
You said it on YouTube, thus and now it is true.
Pity Ma, she says my back cover is a moneymaker for sure. First off, thank you very much. Second off, I when I made this joke, and my wife doesn't like when I make this joke, but I'm going to make it again. If I explode tomorrow into just bone and hair fragments, I could be happy because I had something to do with that back cover. I love the back cover to my comic. I absolutely, it's one of my favorite pieces of comic book art, regardless of comics. It was FX. I thought it was FX, and he had a bit of trouble with Bird. Oh, your friend? Yeah, Bird is a bit of a diva. I would love to hire Bird, but then you're hiring Bird. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I got to get a dump truck full of money to get that.
Yeah,
guy.
let's say you somehow managed to hire Jim Lee. It's like he says he'll do it in 6 months. 2 years later, it's like, oh hey, here's your piece.
Yeah, I know.
Jim Lee, probably he's on the Mount Rushmore of comic book artists, but the dude cannot keep a deadline to save his life.
Yeah, I think the success of those Image guys was the best and the worst things to happen to him, because what is Rob Liefeld 19 years old and he's making $10,000 a week? You know, he didn't have to. I know he was making we're talking like 1996 money. He was making like 10 grand an appearance at a convention, and there was a convention like every 2 weeks. The guy didn't have to draw anymore. He could live just on convention appearances, or you know. Would you, if you were 19 years old? I would be hitting on chicks, drinking beer,
And the thing you got to realize about Rob Liefeld is this is before Deadpool exploded.
right.
Like you got to realize, probably he was making even more money in 2000s. Because I'd say after the 2000s, he's pretty much been coasting off of the I created Deadpool. Which, to be fair, if I created an iconic character like Deadpool, I would do the same exact thing. So I am not hating whatsoever.
Oh, I tell you, man, I would love it. Guys, I'll tell you right now, I can't wait to coast off of the Patriarch. Nick, I can't wait till you're coasting off of Screecher. How's that? The guy used to own a coal mining. Okay, so he had deep pockets. All right. Yeah, I got FX. It wasn't the best comic. But our hour is up. I got to eat dinner. I'm going to be on Comic Book Radio with Pete Samedi in an hour and a half. So I'm going to go.
You have fun, sir. Pete is a great dude.
Anything you want to say? Anything you want to bring up?
All right.
We leave?
If you're still here, thank you. If you like what you saw with Turn Samurai, I will be launching it live on stream as part of the Friday Night Frenzy this Friday. Stream starts on the Phoenix Press YouTube channel at 6 p.m. EST. We'll be launching the comic at 6:30, and then we'll be just talking about just random stuff. And if you donate during the stream, I'll give you a shout out. let's rock this. Let's get
Send
this.
me a link and I'll put it in the description. And you know what I mean. So if anybody,
Well,
catches
right
me-
now the preview link I sent you, that's the best way to do it because you can sign up
Okay,
and be
it's already
notified
in the
when we go
description.
live. And sorry, I was running out of throat.
it's already in the description, guys. So check out that
All right,
link.
one sec. I got some water right here. Let me just.
You can't rest on your laurels. Stay hungry. Yep. I got you.
All right. I'm back. But yeah, the link there. It will turn into the campaign link when we go live. So
There you go. And like I said, I think I backed 2 of your campaigns, and both of them were catch-up tiers because unfortunately I found you after you already started.
well, now you don't have to catch up, so you're all,
Now I
you're all
don't have
caught
to
up.
catch up. Now I could just stay. The comics came in mint condition. You know, I whatever you were talking about.
Hey,
your first
Critical
mistake,
blast. That's all him.
feel good. Yeah. So there you go. And I think it's fun to do. What's his name? Does the Brogan raids? Michael Bancroft.
Mhm.
So right now Critical Blast is live. So he only has one person watching. So I'm gonna go eat my dinner. So we got 61 people. Can we go Critical Blast on YouTube? Just
Tell
jump in
tell
there.
him
Just
tell him that the Phoenix rises.
Yeah, tell them Phoenix Rises, Longbox Raid, Phoenix Rises over at Critical Blast. I'm gonna go eat in a gigantic bowl of chili that my wife
Ooh.
put over there.
I'm gonna mix this. I'm gonna go start on some spaghetti.
Oh, spaghetti too. Or how about we put spaghetti on top of chili? I've done that before. I like that.
You have yourself an idea, sir.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks a lot, Nick. Good luck. Come back on. It's always
Anytime.
fun to talk about
Anytime.
comics. And you got a channel. I could go on your channel too.
Yeah, you're welcome anytime, brother.
Yeah. So well, DM me. We'll set something up.
Okay.
I got a comic I got to pitch too. All right.
All right.
See you, everybody.